Okay, now going to read. What? Wait, what? Oh, come on. Seriously, not again. Come. Are you kidding? Oh, no. Oh, come on. Seriously? Again with this crap? This one stays where it is. This one disappears, and so does this one. Is this one going to disappear next when it's time to read and review it? Is it? Are they all going to do this? Well, I will be right back. I have to go look for Say Cheese and Die for this week's book review. Because unfortunately, it wants to disappear just like the other two. So I will be right back. Where is it? Hello, everybody. Fanboy03 here. Today, I am still trying to find Goosebumps, Say Cheese and Die, because that's the review, right? Unfortunately, it keeps disappearing. I don't know why. Ever since I reviewed the first book, the rest of the books have been disappearing whenever I try to read them and review them for this channel, for you guys, for anyone who actually enjoys the content, and for myself, because I like reviewing them and sharing my thoughts and opinions about it, especially since it's a big part of my childhood that I grew up with, and a lot of my opinions about them have changed. Like in the last review, I believe that it'd be hard not to be biased about Goosebumps, but that wasn't true, as I didn't really find the good one to have a good plot, because one character kind of ruins that whole plot, and she's a big character. But, this one, I have some interesting thoughts about. Yeah, it was right here. You know, in hindsight, I should have looked right here first. I probably would have found it way quicker. Okay, well, I'm gonna take some time, read it, and then I shall give you guys my thoughts and opinions about this. Which, as I was going to say, I have some pretty interesting thoughts. So, let's get into it. Hello everybody, I'm Clownboy03, and I am back at it, and I am reviewing the fourth Goosebumps book. It is Say Cheese and Die. I like this one way better than I did Monster Blood, but it still has some stuff in it that I don't like. So let's go ahead and get into it. I will start with the negatives and go to the positives, then probably back to the negatives. But let's just start off with one negative, then I'll get to a positive, and then back to a negative, because it's kind of all over the place with the positive and negatives, if I'm going to be honest. So let's just go ahead and start off with one negative and then the positive. The negative, I didn't like the bullies. Big surprise, I didn't like the bullies. You could have took them out of the story, missed nothing. You know, it felt like they were only there just so we could have a twist ending with established characters that we know about or that were introduced. And it felt like a lame playoff. It felt like you could have had random characters that showed up at the end, found the house, went to the house and saw the camera. It felt like it would have been just the same. But, I mean, I guess, it's, you know, at least they weren't in the story all the way through. I don't know. I just don't think the boys were done very well. I mean, there's one story I've seen the TV show. I haven't read the book of it yet. The Cuckoo Clock of Doom. You know, at least Harry's little sister is the bully, and she's like a big part of the story because he messes up the clock, so she can get in trouble for once, and because of that, he has time going reverse, and he tries to fix it. You know, at least there, she had a reason for existing. The bullies in Monster Blood in here just don't have a reason. Even if there is one, it can relate to kids. Well, not every kid can relate to getting bullied. But, you know, it's kind of one of those things. It's like it doesn't age well because of it. It's like, yeah, as a kid I can get that, but as an adult, it's like not really. Even if you do relate to bullies, I still feel like it doesn't really fit well because, like I said, you can cut them out, not miss it. If you can cut something out of the story and not miss a thing, it's not good. Regardless if it's relatable or if there's a small reason for them being there, as long as you can cut it out and miss nothing, there you go. Especially if you could just replace them with randos. Like you could with Monster Blood, you can have random kids get devoured. Although I guess people probably been like, well, that came out of nowhere. But, you know, I mean, it does it in a lot of monster movies and stuff. I mean, a lot of randos do get murdered or attacked or something, you know. I mean, heck, they did it in the Goosebumps movie. And nobody really complained, you know. And so why not here? Same thing with Monster Blood. But at least in Monster Blood, they were there. And they, throughout the end story, like they were introduced early and then they were in there throughout. These guys show up in one chapter and don't show up until the end. They're introduced in one chapter, don't show up until the end, until the very end. At the twist ending. Or the dark ending. I wouldn't call it a twist ending here. I just call it more of a dark ending. Stay Out of the Basement had a twist ending. And I argue the first one, if you would want to call it a twist ending, or, you know, especially with her saying, I used to live here, it's reversed, and, you know, she might be dead. Even though it's probably obvious she lived, you know, you could take that interpretation and be like, oh, she died. Her and her family died. Where Monster Blood, I guess it's a twist ending. I'm not really sure because, you know, it's just like the Monster Blood disappears. I guess that's a twist. But this one, it didn't feel like a twist ending. It just felt more like a dark ending, which I like dark endings, don't get me wrong. Especially if they fit the style and tone you're going for. And I felt like it fit here, but I don't know. I just don't really understand the point of the bullies aside from that. But let's go on to positives. Greg, of course, I like the main antagonist. Why do I keep saying antagonist? Main protagonist, I really like them. In the Goosebumps series, I think they stand out and they're really good and interesting, although he probably would get ruined in the sequel, but I'll have to see about that, which I will explain why I say that when I get to another character and the ending of this book. I liked him, and I liked how he was in denial. It's kind of like he went through the 5 stages of grief, but not kind of, but not really. Mainly denial. He was in denial of the camera. He was unsure about it and kind of weary and keeping a close eye on it. You know, taking like the first picture he took of his friend on the staircase, the photo came out and he fell, and his friend said you probably just got him when he fell, but the friend that fell off the staircase and sprung his ankle and Greg himself are like, no, I took a picture of him while he was on the staircase. So there was your first red flag that he paid attention to, and the friend that fell, definitely he just tries not to get his picture taken with the camera, although there is one scene that I can't tell if he was not believing the camera to be evil or he just didn't want to go in the house. I guess it was just the house, because it wouldn't make sense for him to believe something's off of the camera, especially since he's the first victim of it and of the story anyway. And then just will not believe it being evil. But it's like if Friday 13th, you know, I'm not saying it happens here, but if that is what was interpreted or implied, it's like if Jason or Freddy Krueger attacked somebody and they lived, and then someone else gets attacked and they say there's like a killer here, or our dreams are killing us, and they're like, no, I don't believe it. It's like, but it's like, why you got attacked with them? It's like, well, maybe they grew out of it while they're not focused on. So you can't. A future tip. I know I'm a new storyteller, but I know good storytelling. I've been critiquing movies, I've been paying attention, and I've been developing story. I've been learning how to do how to make a proper story and how to tell storytelling properly. And all because you're a beginner writer doesn't mean you ain't gonna be good at it. But here's a pro tip for storytelling: if you want a character to seem like have something bad happen to them, and then they just act like it didn't happen, or they are in denial, or say no, that doesn't make sense, please show us their point of view, where they convince themselves that didn't happen, and they may or may not have a denial and that it did happen. Please do that. Don't just, I'm not saying he did it here. because I'm pretty sure he meant the coffin house, not the camera itself. But if you have a character that goes in denial or just doesn't believe the bad thing, something's bad, even though they're the first victim, please give us a POV. It doesn't have to be long. It can be like a sentence or two explaining why they think that. Please don't just have where it's just like they're in denial and then we have to accept that. You have to show that POV. You have to. Or if it's in first person, you're writing a book, it's first person, however the main character describes that they look like they're in denial. You have to do that, otherwise it's just going to fall flat and feel forced and weird. So, I'm pretty sure it's the coffin house, which I don't blame him. I would not want to go back in that house, especially being chased by a spider, and that's where you found the camera in the first place. I wouldn't want to go back there either. But, that's one positive. Another negative, I'm just going to go back with the negatives and positives because space it out and explain them better. Another negative of this book is Sherry. I didn't like how she felt stupid. Her and Bird kind of felt stupid, especially Sherry. It's like Bird literally, they took a picture of Bird. He's laying down, his neck twisted, his arms in the air after getting hit with baseball, and that's exactly what happens. A few minutes later, he gets hit in the head with a baseball. You hear a loud crack, and he's laying down on the ground in position as the camera. And she still doesn't believe something's off with the camera, even after getting 2 pictures taken of herself in front of a tree, and she's not there. First time it's like, you missed. How do you miss? It's like, look at it. Greg literally says, look at it. I took the picture of you. You're just not in it. Takes another one. She's like, must be broken. You're not scared? I mean, did you not see what happened to your friends? Did you not see what happened to the car? To his dad? To his brother? I can understand the parents not believing it, but not Sherry. That didn't make sense. I mean, she literally saw what the camera can do, where the parents don't even know about it. It's like, why? I just don't like dumb characters. I know this isn't a time where characters were dumb or naive and stuff, but I'm so glad that some stuff, because I don't think you're going to escape it, but at least some movies and stuff know that you don't need to have stupid characters. Like, let's not make them stupid. In denial, yes, but not stupid. So, thank God that some movies and stories are like that. And I'm not saying R.L. Stine is a bad writer, because R.L. Stine's a good writer. But there are some stuff that he written here that I don't like. Some, good authors are going to have their moments in the story that don't make sense, and it still be a good story. Or just a bad story in general. I know a lot of people don't like Ghost Beach. They say it's worse than Chicken Chicken, and How I Learned to Fly. And How I Learned to Fly, I read some of it before I lost the book in middle school. It didn't seem like it would be a traditional Goosebumps book, but a fairy book, where Chicken Chicken, I read it all the way through. It was so silly, but even as a kid, I wasn't scared of that. I thought it was silly, and I was just along for the ride because I like cheesy horror, I do. But it makes me wonder, how bad is Ghost Beach? How bad is it? Like, leave a comment, no spoilers, but just say how bad it is. With, try not to spoil it, but if you have to, go ahead, because I gotta read it anyway, and I think it was one of the earlier books. I might be wrong, but just go ahead. I did see the TV show, but I'm not gonna lie, the episode was boring. I'm gonna be completely honest. I was bored with that episode. I don't remember it. So if that episode was boring, I'm scared to see how the book is, so it's probably just boring, and I probably just answered my own question why a lot of people don't like it, but I'll see. But back to this one, let's go ahead and go to another positive. Another positive is the pictures. I like how creative the pictures are, and I love the camera. I like how this one, you have to use it in order for it to work. But I do feel like they should have had like a certain addiction. Like they should have, it's kind of hinted at in a way, because I guess everyone here likes getting their picture taken. That's it feels like a natural thing. I really wish it was more like an addiction, like alcohol and stuff. I really wish they would have just had where it's like, oh, we're addicted to getting our picture taken. We're addicted to using this. Kind of like a leverage. But in here, it just feels like everybody likes pictures. But taking that fact away, I really like how creative R.L. Stine got with the pictures.
like I mentioned with Bird, him laying down, his neck all twisted, his eyes closed shut, and his mouth hung open in horror. That is really good. The car being totaled despite it being new. His brother being scared about the car, and his dad was in the crash. Let's see. I'm gonna get to that one in a minute. His friend falling was it was the least creative, but it was still pretty good for a first picture. Pretty good. Rest of the pictures are even better. My favorite has to be when they took a picture of Spider, because I love how dark it got. There, you know that saying, or people being scared that a camera's gonna steal your soul. This one literally steals your soul. It steals Spider's soul at the end when he gets his picture taken and his lifeless corpse is left at the house. I love it. I really can't wait to see the rest of the Goosebumps books get this dark. I love dark stories. As long as, it's not dark and edgy for the sake of it, like the boys comic. I mean, it's not something that's bad to me, but it would grow stale real quick, and it's just like, eh. Here, though, I think it works good because it's like, and it's like a good shock value, but at the same time, you're like, well, it's been in Goosebumps before, it shouldn't really shock me, so it's like, instead of, unless, you're a kid and you get scared with it, but as a sick horror freak as I am, I really like horror. I like when it gets dark and disturbing, as long as it has a good story, because I think that's what makes the disturbing stuff work better than it just being disturbing, mixed in with a good story and good characters. So for that, I liked it. And I think this is a really good story with some good characters. I don't think the characters are bad. I just think two of them are dumb. And the other two were smart and pretty wise and interesting. So there's the positive, and here's the negative. A negative and a positive. These two are going to go together because I really like the character Spider. I like how he was searching for the camera and how he knew about it, even trashing Reg's room, trespassing just to get it back. But I like his backstory. Let me go ahead and say that real quick. I like his backstory. I like how he said he wasn't really a good guy until he accidentally killed his whole family with the camera by taking pictures. And then he just tries to keep everyone else from getting it and it ruining lives. But I don't like how they did the freaking villain. What the same thing that he did as the villain in Monster Blood. Remember how Aunt Catherine begs her to let them kids go? They don't, it's between you and me, and she's like, they know too much, they must die. Yeah, same thing with Spider. Except he's not going to kill him, he's just going to leave him trapped down in that basement with him. He says, I can't let you go, you know too much. Who is going to believe a camera that could steal souls? Be smart of this. Maybe if he threatened him saying, if you come back here, I will kill you. I know that's too dark for a Goosebumps book, but they literally say the word kill and die in there, so fight me, you two. Go ahead and fight me. That's literally in here. I know we don't say the kill word in kid stuff anymore, but I don't think that's going to really scar the kids as, watching someone freaking die. That's scarring them, not the word kill. I don't, why can't we say the word kill? We can say death straight, but we can't say kill. We can say Deadpool, but we can't say kill. Why? I don't get... Well, we can't really say Deathstroke. I take that back. We can't say Deathstroke in a kid's show, but we can say Deadpool, but not kill. Please explain that to me. I don't understand it, especially when kids like this, or kid stuff like this, did it. This is the type of dark stuff I think you need to show kids, because it has the word kill and die. They can get a clear understanding of it when a character dies. And it's horrifying. And, and I think that's a good thing. I think horror stuff should scare kids, not too much to give them nightmares and traumatize them, but enough where they can feel tough when getting through it, as Doug Walker stated. So, back to that, he literally dies, but it's like he should have said, if you ever come back here again for the camera, I will kill you. Or I will keep you here with me, if you don't want to go too dark with it. But no, it's like, I can't leave you here, you know too much. Like, they're not going to believe it. I don't understand it. The other one, I'll give her the doubt. She was just dumb. She didn't have a plan that makes sense. Like, maybe, okay, people who like Monster Blood, please give me a comment saying, and explain why that makes sense in the book, not the TV show, but in the book, why her plan and all that stuff made sense. I'm open to different interpretations. I'm open to different viewpoints and opinions, as long as we're respectful about it. So I'm asking you, leave a comment there explaining that, and explain this one right here too while you're at it, or if you want to, feel free to do whatever you want, as long as you're respectful about it. I don't like when villains do that. Slappy, at least, he knows that he's a freaking wooden dummy, and he makes dummies out of everybody else, which, you know, explains why he goes, who you're calling dummy, you're the dummy, thinking you can tell someone this dummy's alive, and it's like, no, he's not, you're just being a jerk for no reason. Although, to be fair, I mean, you could think, it's like, ever since you got that dummy, it's like, you've been a jerk, but really, are you really going to think the dummy's alive? No, I don't think he will. I believe in paranormal activity and stuff and all that. I wouldn't even say the dummy's alive. I probably have thoughts about it, but my first thoughts would be like, my child is just being a brat, and I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm gonna have to take that dummy away from her. And then it's like, if she's still in trouble and all that stuff, I would go with every possible explanation first before deciding the dummy's alive. So good job on Arlstein for that part, for having where the parents, it's understandable why the parents won't believe them there, and Slappy being smart, saying everyone knows you're thinks you're crazy, you got no choice. So thank you, Arlstein. I'm pretty sure he thought that was pretty dumb too, writing it these few times. It's like, yeah, no one's gonna believe that, so why am I saying they know too much? And unless it's just suspense for kids, you know, I can get that. But I feel like even some kids will be like, well, no one's going to believe him. My mom and dad wouldn't believe me, so why would they believe him? Like, unless, you know, I mean, he did chase them and, like, his neighbor found him and scared him away. But I don't think that I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I feel like he could have said something else that would make it scarier and understandable as to why he would keep him there. But as it is, that just didn't make sense to me. But with that said, I really like the plot of this one. I love the monster. I like the blood monster, and I love the camera here. I think if I had to go which one I like better out of the two monsters anyway, probably the camera, because it's so unique, a camera that actually takes your soul. And as is, I'm going to do something different here, but first let me go back to the first book and the second book. They're both a 9 out of 10 for me, because I think they're both so well done, and they're masterpieces. They're done very well. The third one, I give a 6 out of 10. This one, I'm going to give a 7.5 out of 10. Because it had some stuff that bugged me, but the plot was really good. The main character was really good. The monster was good. And I liked Spidey. I like how he knew about the camera. The only adult that would believe him about it. But I didn't like him being like, you know too much. Maybe it's like, here's another line. He was like, you'll come back for the camera. They always do. I have to keep you here. That would make sense, because he literally comes back for it in the sequel for some reason. I don't know why. I gotta read it. I'll let you know my thoughts and opinions on that one. But after this, I'm gonna take a break from Goosebumps. After every 4 Goosebumps books, I'm gonna read a book or two, maybe one, or I don't know, 1 or 2, and I will review it. Although it would take longer to get a video out, because the other books I have are like 200 to 400 pages. Like, especially, like, you know, Stephen King novels. Like, he isn't really a short story person. It's rare to get a short story from him. But that's my thought and opinion about it. That's what I want to talk about it. What do you guys think about this one? Is it your favorite out of the first 4? Is it your favorite Goosebumps book in general? Is it your least favorite? What do you guys think? Leave me down your thoughts and opinions below. I would love to see some different opinions, different takes on it. What do you guys like about Goosebumps? Did you like Monster Blood better? Did you like Say Cheese and Die better? Did you like Stay Out of the Basement, Welcome to Dead House better? Out of the 4 books that I read and reviewed, which one is your favorite? And which one's your favorite Goosebumps book in general? Your favorite Goosebumps monster? As it is, this is Tomboy03, and I will see you in the next video. And hopefully, I'll be able to talk about the Goosebumps TV show trailer reaction, because boy, do I have some thoughts and opinions about it. Until then, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.